Dr. Shamsu, kai wa mutum kanka. Okay.
Can you, I can't see my screen.
So, are you ready?
No, I can't share my screen. Sorry. Just a minute, please.
I will make you the host so that you can share.
Okay.
You can try it now. Dr. Shamsudeen.
Yes, can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Yes, we can see it now. So are you set?
Just a minute, please. So is it okay now?
Yes, it is absolutely okay.
Thank you. So go on, please.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, our dear participants and our today's tutor. We have reconvened today, 23rd June 2020, to attend an online lecture to be delivered by Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare on the topic scholarship opportunities, how to grab one. This lecture is being organized by Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria as a result of the challenges identified or we identified facing the scientific community, graduates, and other category of certificate holders in Nigeria on how to grab scholarship opportunities, especially the foreign scholarship or the local scholarships. Here with us today, our tutor or the speaker, Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare from the Department of Biochemistry, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Dr. Shamsudeen was the second to have graduated with first-class honors at the Department of Biochemistry, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. And thereafter, he was employed as graduate assistant. And since then, he has been working in the department. And subsequently, he obtained MSc and PhD degrees from United Kingdom through 2 scholarships, PTD, Petroleum Technology Development Agency scholarship, and for PhD, he availed Commonwealth scholarship, all in United Kingdom. So I think he is the right person to discuss with us today and encourage the youth or the participants on how to grab similar opportunities to successfully obtain additional qualifications. Without wasting much time, I would invite Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare, who is also a co-founder of this MECAGIN, to go commence with his lecture. Dr. Shamsudeen, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tijjani, for the kind introduction. Because some people are joining the lecture and I have to admit them all the time.
So kindly please make me the admin again. Make me the host.
So how do I do that?
Dr. Shamsudeen,
Yeah.
can you hear me please?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, make me the admin, the host again, so that I will continue to be adding people as they come in, please.
Okay. Where can I do that?
Yeah, go to participants. Click on the participants, then select my name, then make me the host. Go to participants, click on participants, then click more. Just trace my name and click more. Then you will see make admin or host. Then make me the admin.
So I have made you the host. Are you there?
Yes, then go ahead, please.
Okay. As I said earlier, Dr. Tijjani, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Assalamu alaikum for the benefit of the Muslims, and good morning to you all. I'm actually privileged to be here with all of you to deliver this lecture titled Scholarship Opportunities, How to Grab One. And as Dr. Tijjani said, a lecturer in the Department of Biochemistry since 2010 of Usman Dan Fodio University, where I work with him as well. So, yes, so just to give a brief of how the lecture is going to look like, this is an outline for all of us. So I'm going to have a brief introduction, then tell you why you have to bother to actually apply for scholarships, then tell you the types of scholarships available, the forms of scholarships, and how you can access this scholarship. Then also, most importantly, to share with you some tips for getting a scholarship. And I'm also going to share with you reasons for failure, because a lot of us have actually applied for these scholarships, and for one reason or the other, we don't get it. So I'm going to share that experience with you, and also tell you the popular scholarships around and some success stories, then acknowledgements, and finally we are going to have a questions and answer session. Just a brief about the opportunities I grabbed. I think Dr. Tijjani has already mentioned some of them. This is just not about my CV. It's just to tell you that I have been in this game for some time. I have actually availed of scholarship opportunities since 1998, when I started my secondary school. As you can see, from 1998 to 2003, I got the federal government scholarship to study at the Federal Government Academy, Suleja, which is the only center for the gifted and talented students in Nigeria. And immediately after that, when I secured admission into Usman Dan Fodio University, I availed of the undergraduate scholarship throughout my bachelor's degree from 2004 to 2007. And then after my degree, I started teaching or lecturing at Usman scholarship for my master's at University College London, and after that I returned in 2012, and then in 2014 I got the Commonwealth Scholarship to study my PhD degree at Queen's University, Belfast. So as I said, it's not about my CV, it's just for you to know that I have been in the game for some time, and fortunately I have acquired some experiences in the game that I want to share with you, so that for those of us applying, it will actually be of benefit and make our lives easier as we go into the game. So first of all, just as all of us know that a scholarship is a grant or a payment made to support students' education. This support will be on the basis of their academic achievements or on the basis of other achievements. So there are a lot of misconceptions that scholarships are just for studying There are a lot of scholarships for skills acquisitions, scholarship for athletes, scholarships for all walks of life. Anything you are into, there are scholarships for that. So if you can see from the definition, I've actually highlighted some keywords, which are grants, payments, awards, financial aids given to students. So the most important thing here is that each and every scholarship is actually tied to some amount of money or grant given to the student to actually or to actualize his dreams, be it in education, be it in skills acquisition, or whatever he wants to go into. So a lot of people will say, I'm not going to bother applying for scholarships. They are difficult to get. So why bother apply for scholarships? Why should we bother applying scholarships? Because the most important one is you get free education. You get free travel, you get free experiences, because you will get money to actually go for studies, travel around the world, go and see things, go and experience things that you can't dream of because you don't have the money to actually do these things. So most of the times we tend to tie almost everything to money. And it's a popular saying that time equals to money. A lot of people have said to me, oh, I've wasted 10 hours applying for scholarships. I've wasted 1 year applying for scholarship. But is it worth it? Is it worth the time you waste? I will just give you a simple analogy now. So if you spend 10 hours applying for a scholarship and you earn $1,000, that means for the 10 hours you have spent, you have actually made $100 an hour. And for us Nigerians, if you convert $100 to an hour, to Naira, you will see that even at the official rate is around 36,000 Naira. I don't think there is a job often that you get that will pay you 36,000 Naira per hour. So it's actually worth it. Apart from the free education you get and free travels and experience, you get some money as well. So interestingly, several scholarships are worth more than this. They are worth more than what I have given you an analogy of. For example, I availed of the PTDF Masters Overseas Scholarship, and you can see this Masters Overseas Scholarship I got is a conservative estimate around $50,000, and that's just for a single year. My master's was just for 1 year, and I got the government to give me all this money to cover my tuition fees, my living expenses, and everything. And then later on came the Commonwealth Scholarship, which I estimate to be around $125,000, which is a lot of money. If you convert that to Naira now, it's around 50 million Naira. I can't afford that. And I think a lot of people can't afford around 50 million Naira to study for a PhD. So scholarships are very, very crucial and essential because the amount of benefits we get out of this. So some people also do ask that, are there scholarships for me? There are actually different types of scholarships for just anyone. Whoever you might be, whatever you are doing in life, whatever it is, whether you are in the academics, whether you are a sportsman, whether you are into volunteering, community service, there are a lot of scholarships for these things we dream about or we tend to do in our lives. Just to give you some types of these scholarships, there are the academic scholarships, the career-based scholarships. We have scholarships for minorities, scholarships for women, and community service scholarships. So when we are talking about academic scholarships, as you can see, I availed of scholarship opportunities right from my secondary school. So at every level of your studies, be it secondary school, as an undergraduate, as a postgraduate, and even postdoctoral after your PhD, so you can get fellowships to actually pursue your academic career. And then career-based, whether you are in the civil service, whether you are in the private sector, an athlete, a footballer, whatever you do in life as your career, whether you own a business, there are scholarships for you to advance whatever it is you are doing. So also in community service, some of us want to touch the lives of people by volunteering, by carrying out leadership activities, environmental activism, social activism. So even the community service we think we do for free, we have scholarships that will help us to advance our goals, to advance our mission, to advance the vision we have to see other people happy. So we have seen the different types of scholarships. Now we have also different forms of scholarship. Some scholarships are full scholarships, whereby if you are going to study, say for a master's, the full scholarship takes care of everything. Right from when you get the scholarship, it takes care of your travel, it takes care of your visa, it takes care of your accommodation, it takes care of your tuition fees, it takes care of your subsistence, it takes care of even your enjoyment while you are studying. So these are full scholarships, and a lot of them are around. We have a lot of them that we can avail of, and they are very, very beneficial. While some scholarships will say we can only afford to pay your tuition fees and subsistence, you have to cover your travel, you have to cover other things. Those scholarships are also available. Some scholarships are tuition free only. You get a university admission to study for a master's or for a PhD, and they get back to you and say, okay, we'll give you a tuition free scholarship. You take care of everything else, and we waive off your tuition fees. So those scholarships are available. There are university, college, faculty scholarships. We have supervisor-linked scholarships, especially in the developed countries where the professors or the supervisors have access to a lot of money. They attract grants, and these grants allow them to employ PhD students. It allows them to employ postdocs to come and work in their labs. So you approach a supervisor and he says, oh, I have a scholarship for you if you are a good candidate. So he pays off everything for you, pays, and you just travel, go there, study, get your degree, and enjoy life as well. So there are company scholarships. There are also scholarships for researches, especially in outbreaks or during outbreaks and pandemics, especially in this period of time that we have COVID-19. And previously we have had outbreaks of Lassa fever, Ebola, and we still live with infectious diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, HIV. So there are scholarships designed to actually allow people to go and research on these subject matters for the purpose of finding solutions and also minimizing the effect or the impact of these outbreaks or pandemics. So these scholarships have various forms, as you can see, and it all depends on which one you actually want to avail of. So now we look at access to scholarships. In this era of globalization, most of us, even now we are on the internet, a lot of websites you go to, you have access to a lot of scholarships. University websites, scholarship web hosts, newspapers, magazines, even on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and what have you. You all get this information about scholarships. Conferences, when we go for conferences, workshops, seminars, we meet people and we see the kind of scholarships they get, and from there we can get information on how they actually got these scholarships. Another point of information, of course, is friends and colleagues. And at the end of this lecture, I will tell you success stories whereby some people actually contacted me and we talked about scholarships. I guided them, and today they are doing well in different capacities. So friends and colleagues are a very good source of information or access to scholarships. So I will just give you on the right, you can see an email that I subscribe to. It's called Scholarships and Aid. And these scholarships and aid is a web host. So they give an information about scholarships, about opportunities. So a lot of them exist, and you can actually subscribe to this kind of web host or emails, and you get information about very recent scholarships. So lastly, I just want to remind you that information is power. If you don't have information, then you can't actually do anything. So information is power. We have to keep our hands on deck to get information, reliable information that will give us access to these scholarships. So the big deal for me is just to share with you some of the tips for getting a scholarship. There are a lot of tips. What I'm going to discuss now, of course, is not exhaustive. There are a lot of them depending on the type of scholarship and depending on the funders as well. But in general terms, these are very much applicable to a lot of scholarships you apply to. So the first one is pick the right scholarship. You have seen the different types of scholarships I have mentioned. You have seen the different forms of scholarship. So you have to actually pick the right scholarship to apply in the beginning. And how do you do that? For each and every scholarship, there is what they call a criteria, the eligibility requirements. So the first thing you do when you get an information about a scholarship, read the eligibility requirement and see, do you fit the criteria? If you don't fit the criteria, there is no point going on because you are absolutely wasting your time. But if you match the eligibility criteria, that means you are the kind of candidate they want you to apply. So you stand a chance if actually you fit the eligibility requirements. And most scholarships now these days do have checklists. Like if you have, some of you might have applied for the IDB scholarship or other scholarships like Commonwealth, they have a checklist and they will ask you certain questions in the beginning as you start to apply. And once you tick all those questions, it means you are eligible to apply. But once you don't tick any question or you tick no to that question, then you are not eligible. And even if you submit an application, your application will outrightly be rejected because you have not fulfilled the requirements. So eligibility requirement criteria is very, very crucial and essential to getting a scholarship and to applying and even getting a scholarship. So this might sound funny or even trivial. Get an international passport. I learned this the hard way. The first scholarship I applied for a postgraduate degree, they asked me about my passport number. And because I didn't have any prior intention of travel, I never had an international passport back then. So I lost the opportunity simply because I didn't have an international passport and I don't have a passport number. So some scholarships will say you have to upload the biodata page of your these days. So you have to get an international passport. It's very crucial and important. Yes, so another tip is a functional email. And when I say a functional email, is not just any email, but an email you keep an eye on. An email that all the time you check. In fact, so we can configure our phones to check our emails or to give us a pop-up whenever an email comes in. So when you are applying for scholarships, you need a functional email, an email that you go to all the time, because certain information will be sent to these emails. And if you don't keep an eye, then you can easily lose a scholarship because of lack of information, or they want you to send certain documents within 24 hours and you didn't see the email. So you just lose it like that. So another tip is you have to keep scanned PDF and JPEG copies of the following documents below. This is very, very crucial, because once you start applying for scholarships, you find out that you have to upload certain information, your certificates, educational qualifications, your academic transcripts, your English language proficiency certificates, like IELTS, the TOEFL, because for foreign scholarships, especially in the UK, US, you need these English proficiency certificates to even get an admission in the first place, not even to talk more of a scholarship. You need to keep also a good CV or a good resume. Fortunately, Dr. Khalid gave an excellent presentation about writing CVs, resumes, cover letters, SOPs. So these are very crucial to scholarships, because if you actually attended the lecture, or which you can even find on Dr. Tijjani's YouTube channel, if you want to go through, you will see that he talked about a CV having 3 characteristics: structure, content, and aesthetics. So you need to construct your CV so that it will be catchy to your funders. It will be catchy to the supervisor that is giving you a scholarship, or whatever body is giving you a scholarship. So another important tip is a good personal statement or motivation letter. This is indispensable in almost every scholarships. You can't do without this. Funders will ask you to write a personal statement or a motivation letter. And the reason for doing this is they want to see the enthusiasm in you. Why do you want this scholarship? What is the benefit of the scholarship to you, to your home country, to the world at large? when you get this scholarship, how is it going to change your life? Are you going to be the same or you are going to be different? So a lot of people have contacted me and say, please, can you write a personal statement for me? And I outrightly say no, because even from the name is something that is personal to you. It's how you feel about something. And you are in the best position to say something about that. So a personal statement is very personal indeed. And we have to find ways to sell ourselves. Nobody can sell you the way you will. You will do that correctly. So you have to write your personal statement, take time, write it, proofread it, give an expert or a mentor to proofread it for you and also give you inputs about how you can improve it. And then another thing you need to keep is recent passport and also scanned signatures, because you may need this while you are applying for scholarships. So another tip is admission letter. For those of us that actually want to go for overseas scholarship, for masters, for PhDs, excuse me, an added advantage is if you have an admission letter already, even before applying for the scholarship, because the funders will know that, yes, this is a serious candidate. He has gone a step ahead of a lot of people. So an admission letter is very, very crucial to helping you getting a scholarship. And for PhD candidates, you may need a research proposal. And a research proposal is a description of the research, the detail of the research you want to undertake if you are given the opportunity or if you are given the scholarship. In fact, these days, you can't even get an admission in any university without a research proposal. So it is indispensable for PhD candidates that want to undertake research in their respective or in their different disciplines. So another important thing is good references. You need, every scholarship asks for referee reports. Every scholarship asks for referee reports. So you have to ask your lecturers or your tutors to give you good referee reports. And you can only get that if you have been a good student, if you have been very good in class and you are collegial, you keep friends, and you know, you have to keep good qualities to get good referees from your lecturers or your tutors. But most importantly is also ask the responsive lecturers, because I've seen instances whereby people have lost scholarship opportunities because one of their referees did not submit a referee report. So some referees are very busy and they may not have time to respond. So you have to give them adequate time to and inform them. Once you apply for a scholarship, you ring them if you are not close, or you go and meet them and tell them, I have applied and you will get, I need a referee report from you, please. You know, you have to ask nicely, and I'm sure you will get one. So another important tip is publications. It is an added advantage, especially for the PhD candidates. When you want to undertake a PhD, it is a research-based type of study. And anybody that wants to fund you for a PhD wants to see that you have actually done something in research. So if you have done a master's, you can try to publish your master's dissertation or your research, the research you have done in your master's. For master's students, if you haven't done that, then you can approach your lecturers, you can approach your mentors and say, please, how can I get involved in the research you are doing? I want publications. And a lot of people are happy to co-opt you into writing, into carrying out experiments and doing different things. So you have to think about this earlier on, even before you apply for the scholarships. And another thing is you need to take your time to fill out the application form. Every good scholarship form is tedious, is very, very tedious to fill. If you want to fill it the right way, they will ask you a lot of questions that at some point you will feel like giving up and say, why are these people just asking me different questions? They will ask you questions about your future career. They will ask you questions about your long-term career, where you see yourself after the PhD, how the PhD is going to impact your life, how it will impact your society, how it will impact the world. So you need to take time to think about these questions, because it's not just a sentence or two. You need to write something that is very convincing. So if you don't take time, you are not going to write anything good, and you obviously will miss the scholarship, because those questions are designed to bring out the best in you, to actually know your capacity, to actually know your abilities, and see the enthusiasm, the optimism in you. And that is what funders are looking for. If you don't have that, you can't get a scholarship. So seek expert or mentor advice. Any scholarship you want to undertake or you want to apply, try and get someone that has gone through that route. Advice, ask for things you need to do. And even after you have written your application, send it to your mentor or any expert to review your application, so that they will give you input on how best you can improve on your application. This is very, very crucial, because most of the times we think we know things, but even someone that is not in our field, when he reviews our write-ups, he gives us very useful inputs, which will improve our chances of getting these scholarships. Very important, you have to be positive and resilient. Scholarships don't come easily, and you may apply for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, several scholarships without even getting one. But the most important thing is you remain focused, you remain resilient, and continue to apply. Learn from your previous experiences and bring the experiences forward, and then try to improve on them and put in a better application each time you do it. And also be confident. When you write your cover letters, when you write your applications, you need to tell the funders your achievements. You need to tell them your career experiences. You need to tell them the awards and honors you have gotten. You need to tell them the kind of community engagements you are into, the volunteering you do, because those things are the selling point. The awards say what will determine whether the funder gives you a scholarship or not, because we want to see potential leaders. We want to see people that the scholarship will benefit. They will go on to do extraordinary things in the society, extraordinary things in the world. So the things I have given, as I said earlier, are not exhaustive. So, but these are general tips that you will find useful for most of the scholarships available. But the golden advice here is, I will say, apply early and apply often. You need to start your application process as early as possible. And you need to continue to apply for scholarships. Not just you apply for one and say, that's it, I'm not gonna apply again. This one is okay. If I don't get it, that's it. It doesn't work that way. You have to be the master of the game to actually get a scholarship. One application wouldn't be enough. You have to be extremely lucky to get a scholarship as a first timer in applying. Another important thing is keep records of all documents and emails, because very important. When you get a scholarship, they may refer you back to emails, they may refer you back to certain documents. And if you have lost them and you can't provide an evidence, then you will lose the scholarship. So most scholarships also have aptitude test interviews. So you need to prepare well for the aptitude test, for the interviews in order to be successful. So once you put in a good application and they are happy with your application, some funders will invite you for a test or an interview. And you need to prepare well for that, because you need to make a very personal impression that you need this scholarship and you are the best candidate for this scholarship. And then most importantly, please don't fall a prey to scholarship scams. There are a lot of scams going on because scammers tend to work on the emotions of people. Anybody looking for scholarships sometimes tends to be desperate. Oh, I need to get a scholarship this year. If not, oh, I don't see, it's pointless, you know? So people often get desperate. But no matter how desperate you are, don't fall a prey to scholarship scams. And there are two ways to know about scholarship scams. Any scholarship that says pay money is a scam. There is no scholarship in the world that asks you to pay money. Scholarships pay you to go and study or to do whatever you want to do. So anybody that is asking you to pay money to get a scholarship, of course, you know, it doesn't make sense. And that is a scam. And then another thing is no scholarship is guaranteed. Once you see an advert saying, oh, you are guaranteed 100% a scholarship, just apply or do this, do that. There is no guarantee in any scholarship. You have to apply, you have to go through the steps to actually get that scholarship. So anybody telling you in the beginning that you are guaranteed wants to scam you. So you have to be very, very careful about this scholarship scams. So quickly, I have shared the tips, and if you just reverse the opposite of the tips, you will see that if you don't do this, is a reason for your failure. And the first one I gave an example is eligibility requirement. So if you don't qualify for a scholarship and you apply for the scholarship, you are absolutely wasting your time. There is no way you are going to get that scholarship. So you have to qualify to apply for a scholarship. If you don't qualify, you are wasting your time because you are not going to get it. Another thing I said, start applying early. If you leave your application until the last minute, then you are bound to fail. Because in the last minute, you are not going to do grammar checks. There will be no proofreading of your application by yourself or an expert or anybody else. The appropriate documents may not be provided because you are in a haste to submit. The deadline is 12 a.m. and you just started applying, say, around 10 p.m. It doesn't work that way. So you have to give ample time to apply for these scholarships. You can easily forget to even include your name or your address or even give wrong information. And every scholarship say, if you give us wrong information, we are going to discard your scholarship. And even if you have gotten the scholarship and they find out that you misinformed them, they can withdraw the scholarship from you. So we have to give ample time to apply for these scholarships. Then if you didn't answer the questions, as I said, every good scholarship asks numerous, very tedious and technical questions. So if you don't answer the questions well, there is no scholarship for you, unfortunately. So you have to give ample time, write, proofread, think about it, and then put in a very, very good convincing answer. Of course, this is obvious. If you miss the deadline, no scholarship for you. So there are a lot of reasons, but these are very simple reasons for failing to secure scholarships. You only applied 1 or 2 scholarships and you said, oh, I failed. As I said, you have to be in the game consistently for you to have a chance. So you need to continue to apply, be resilient, apply for these scholarships, and with experience, you will get one. But most importantly, you need to understand that failure is not the end of the world. Some of us get stressed out, they become sad, some even become depressed. They applied and they didn't get a scholarship. So people have given failure different names. They said first attempt in learning. So even if you fail, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but you have learned something from the experience. You have learned something from the entire process. So what you need to do is to bring the experience forward in order to put a better application. So please, we need to work on our emotions and not be very sad when we get regret emails about not securing a scholarship. So I will want to give just few examples of popular scholarship opportunities. And as you can see here, we have a lot of them, but these are the popular ones. The Fulbright scholarship in the United States for both master's, PhD. We have the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship plan in the UK. We have the Chevening Scholarship. We have that in Germany. We have the Erasmus by the European Union. We have the Australian awards. And here in Nigeria, at the bottom, you can see this tree. We have a very popular one, the PTDF scholarship, which is very, very good. And in fact, I will say is a top class scholarship because it competes with a lot of international scholarships in terms of funding. And for those of us teaching in the academia, we know of the TED Fund scholarship. It gives us the opportunity to actually go for degrees abroad and even locally, and it takes care of the expenses. And then we have the NITDA scholarship for those in IT, computer science, computer engineering. This is also a very good scholarship for you. So there are a lot of these scholarships. These are just a few good ones that you may start to think about. And something about this scholarship is some of them are very, very peculiar to certain disciplines. For example, the PTDF scholarship will say only oil and gas related courses. They only fund oil and gas related courses. But like the Commonwealth Scholarship, the Fulbright, the Chevening, the Erasmus, you know, they are not streamlined. They are open to all disciplines. So whether you are in sciences, engineering, arts, humanities, social sciences, there is an opportunity for you. You just have to look for it and go on to grab it. These are also other popular scholarships by different governments in the world. We have the Danish government, we have the French, the Japanese, the Korean scholarship, Netherlands, Singapore, Sweden, India, Turkey. So a lot of governments around the world have fellowships and scholarship programs that we can actually avail of. So quickly, just to give you some success stories of people I have been in contact with. Of course, this is just to serve as an inspiration to those that want to venture into the game of applying for scholarships. This is a gentleman here, Ifeanyi, whom I met far back in 2013 at the Federal Scholarship Board in Abuja. So I went there to I was called to come for a South Korean scholarship for my PhD, while he was called to come for the master's on the same scholarship. So when we met, the young man actually approached me and said, please, I want you to mentor me. I applied for an Erasmus scholarship, and unfortunately, I didn't get it. And the reason why I didn't get it is because I don't have publications. The top 5 people all have like 2-3 publications. So how can you help me? I said, that is, I felt touched, you know, because this is a young man that wants to progress his career, and he has found something that is lacking in his application, which he wants to correct. So immediately we started to work. He's from the east, I'm from the north. He's from the southeast, I'm from the northwest. And we started to work, and in that year, we worked and he got 2 publications. He was a co-author on 2 of my publications. And those 2 publications allowed him to get the Erasmus scholarship for that year. And he went and studied a master's in forensic science in the UK, Portugal, and Spain, because the Erasmus scholarship allows you to move to 3 different universities in Europe for your studies. So he was very excited, and he did very well. So immediately afterwards, he knew he wanted to do a PhD. He applied for a PhD fellowship. He's now in his 2nd year of PhD in Spain, working on HIV. So this is one of the stories. And secondly, I have a good friend of mine here, Umar Farouk Magaji, who is now in Turkey. He works in Federal University, Birnin Kebi, and he applied several scholarships, but wasn't fortunate to get one until 2 years ago. He got the Turkish government scholarship, and he's now in Turkey doing well, studying, doing his PhD in biochemistry. So most recently is Ibrahim Ahmad Gusa, whom I've never met. We have never met personally, but he lives very close by in Zamfara State. We started to talk years back, around 2014, when I got the Commonwealth Scholarship. He chatted me on Facebook and said, I want to apply for scholarships. How can you help me? And that is where the relationship started. And today I'm proud to tell you that Ibrahim recently got a Korean scholarship to go to South Korea, and he filled in an application for Commonwealth Scholarship, which I'm very, very confident is going to get this year if it comes out, because he has put in a very strong application. So these are just a few of the success stories I want to share with you to motivate you and to also encourage you not to relent on your scholarship applications. So finally, I will want to acknowledge the Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria, MECAGIN, and especially Dr. Tijjani, who is the founder of this, and that is why all of us are here. We are very proud of you, and we are happy to be part of this change you are bringing to our society. It is a good thing indeed, and we thank you for that. I also want to thank the management of Osman Danfodio University for being on our side, giving us the logistical support in terms of the networks, the Zoom we are using with license, and most especially the management information system, whom have given us all the technical support we need to actually undertake this series of lectures. And finally, I want to thank all of you for your kind attention. So best of luck as you try for your scholarships, and remember, it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. So please don't give up. Thank you very much.
You see, hello. You see, it has been proven that Dr. Shamsudeen is an expert speaker. In fact, he has been recognized in our department to be one of the people who can present, you know, a scientific paper in a very nice manner. In fact, there is a conference that was earlier scheduled to hold in July, if I am right, which I'm sure Dr. Shamsudeen is on the website there. His name, his picture, and every details of him is there as one of the speakers for the conference that will speak at the plenary session. So he has done justice to the topic choosing for him to discuss on scholarship opportunities. He himself, forget about whatever success story he has told about others, he himself is a manifestation of a success. He started earlier at the Gifted and Talented School with the support of his parents and the government of Kebbi State. And now he is a full PhD holder on the ladder of becoming a professor of biochemistry, inshallah, very soon. And while he was making his presentation, somebody asked a question. And before then, I would like to inform you that the reason for creating this platform is to enable scientific community to interact, to meet. I'm sure probably to some of you, today is the first time you are seeing Dr. Shamsudeen. He has been able to mentor others while he was undergoing his PhD program and also MSc program. So that is the essence of bringing all of you together here, is to be able to meet other people who will help you in the process of achieving whatever success that you want to achieve, whether MSc or PhD or whatever that you want to achieve. There are people out there who have the zeal, who have the good heart to assist you when you contact them. What you just need is to contact them. And this platform is the enabling environment for all of you here to contact anybody that you feel like contacting so that he will help you. Just like he has given you his achievements in terms of mentoring others, equally we at our own side, we have also assisted a number of people. Like for instance, here at Osman Afford University, Sokoto, I actually sent an information related to scholarship I used when I was doing my PhD. And I can tell you about 3 to 4 of the staff of Osman Afford University, Sokoto availed the scholarship. And today, some of them have PhD or MSc degree from India as a result of the guidance we gave them. So when I conceptualized the idea of having this mentorship and career guidance in Nigeria, the first person that I have contacted was Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare, who is very close to me. So he supported the idea, and thereafter I created a WhatsApp group, and then a Facebook post was made with the WhatsApp link, which people started joining. And today I can tell you we have over 1,000 people, whether on our WhatsApp platform or on Telegram platform. So subsequently, encourage others to join us on board so that they will learn a lot about what we are doing here at MECAGIN. And before then, I would like to inform the participants that just like what Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare has said, what will help you in availing scholarship is to stay very close to a person who had earlier availed that scholarship. He is a very resourceful person to you who will guide you on achieving your success. If you decide to do it on your own, in your own way, you could hardly get it. You could hardly get it. So Dr. Shamsudeen has rightly advised you. So follow the advice, and I can guarantee you that you will be successful in applying, in getting the scholarship. So I will allow now participants to ask questions and make comments or contribution. Before then, someone has already dropped a question on our chat messenger. He has asked Dr. Shamsudeen whether if there are any terms and conditions attached to any scholarship, if you are applying for any scholarship. Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare, I'm sure you have heard me.
Yes, yes, Dr. Tijjani. Yes, absolutely. Each and every scholarship has terms and conditions, because scholarships are just like a contract. You will be contracted to do something, to go and carry out your study, a PhD, and in the end, the funders, all they want from you is just to be a better person, to contribute to the society. So there are terms and conditions. Some scholarships will say, oh, after your scholarship, you need to return back to your home country to serve for 2 years, simply because they don't want the knowledge to be elsewhere. They want you to come back to your country, and so that people will benefit from the scholarship, people will benefit from the knowledge you have acquired. And a lot of scholarships will outrightly put it to you that once we give you our scholarship, if it's a full scholarship, then you cannot take up any scholarship. Just like the Commonwealth Scholarship is a full scholarship, you don't need any other money. So they want you to concentrate and do and undertake your studies. So they will tell you, just once we give you a scholarship, you don't need any other scholarship. So don't apply and don't take any other scholarship. And if you do, they are at liberty to terminate your scholarship. So you need to carefully read the terms and conditions of every scholarship you are applying, because they do have terms and conditions. But these are just sensible things, I think, that anybody will actually do. Yes.
So I will allow a few questions. Hello, I have given you permission to unmute yourself. So quickly you can ask a question. We'll allow 1 or 2 people to ask questions before we finally allow Dr. Shamsudeen for the last. Anybody with a question?
Yes, Musa Abdul Malik on the line, sir.
Yes, go on, please. I can hear you.
You see, before he asks his question, Dr. Shamsudeen, I would like to tell you the person who just mentioned his name as Musa Abdullahi is encouraging. He is a staff of Federal Road Safety Commission. Musa was my senior. I think he graduated in 2004 at the Department of Chemistry, Osman Afori University, Sokoto, while I was at 300 level, because I graduated in 2005. So it is encouraging to see people who are actually in a sector that is not academic, having passion to continue with education. Musa is already holding a master's degree in chemistry. So I think he has interest probably to continue with his studies up to PhD level. So this is encouraging. I'm sure the participants can learn a lot from him because usually you expect people who are in the academic environment to continue with their education up to PhD level, whereas those who are not in that level will have less interest in having additional degrees. So it's encouraging. Anybody with another question, please? You can unmute yourself. By the left-hand side, if you are working with a computer, you will see mute or unmute. So you can unmute yourself and answer and ask a question, please, or make a comment. I've already given you permission. All of you can unmute themselves. In absence of question, Dr. Shamsudeen, I think just to add more 1 or 2 words to the efforts we are making to bring everybody on board to understand how things are working with regards to scholarship opportunities. Just like what you have discussed, is that when you make an application, when you must have filled up an application form online, what is essential, as suggested or advised by Dr. Shamsudeen, is that you can forward it to someone who has either availed it in the past or somebody who is ahead of you who could be having an experience beyond your level. He will suggest to you some modifications that will assist you in getting the scholarship, just as Dr. Shamsudeen has done to Mr. Ifeanyi. Because if Mr. Ifeanyi has not requested, you have to have the courage to contact the person that you feel like is capable of helping you. If you feel like keeping quiet, that person may not know actually what is affecting you or what is bothering you. You just have to open up, meet the person, have the courage, and introduce yourself to him, ask him whether if he is capable of helping you. This is your problem. I'm sure when you ask him, even if he will not be able to help you, he will refer you to an appropriate person. Maybe Dr. Shamsudeen could shed one or more lights before we finally go, if there are no questions.
Yes, that is very true, Dr. Tijjani. We have received messages on the platform Telegram and WhatsApp from participants saying, I'm doing this, who can mentor me? It doesn't really work that way, because the mentee needs to find a suitable mentor. You are the one to recognize who you think can mentor you, who has the qualities, who has the expertise to advise you. So you have to recognize the person. You can do that via various platforms. We have LinkedIn, we have ResearchGate, even Facebook, Twitter. You can see, you can get a potential mentor from there. And then the next thing is to approach the mentor. You approach the mentor nicely and say, oh, I'm interested in what you do. I want to do this. And you will be surprised the kind of help you get from people, because everyone has the heart to see people progress. We want to see people happy in our own little way. And the least we can do is to advise you. And people will give you that necessary support to improve yourself, to improve in your career, to improve in your academics, to improve your skills. So you need to take the courage, take the bull by its horn to actually approach a mentor. And then naturally, the relationship will grow between you. Right from the day I spoke to Ifeanyi, I felt a strong bond with him, because this is someone that he wants to progress, you know. So you have to show that zeal that you want to move on, you want to progress, you are ambitious in life. That is when you get a suitable mentor who can advise you appropriately, and from there the relationship naturally grows, and the sky is just the beginning. Because up till today, I tell you, we still collaborate with Ifeanyi, we publish papers, we write grants. So also Umar Magaji, we have published papers with him. Even Ibrahim, that I have never met, we have published a paper with him. So the relationship is just not a one-way thing. Even the mentor to benefit from the relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's a give and take thing. And I will advise each and every one of you that has the ambition of going through the path of success to actually get a mentor and take up the relationship from there.
Yes, Dr. Shamsudeen. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Tijjani.
Yes, I have seen some few questions here on the chat board.
Okay.
One person asked why are most scholarships restricted to second class upper or first class?
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, I said there are different types of scholarships. We have academic scholarships. Even in the academic scholarships, there are average academic scholarships. I can confirm that. The reason why they restrict and say only 2-1, because they want to restrict the number of people, the number of applications they get. You have to put out a criteria if you want to select people. Of course, if you want to select good academic candidates, you go by virtue of their CGPA. So 2-1, even with 2-1, you still get a lot of candidates, because there are first class candidates, a lot of first class these days, a lot of 2-1 these days. So you have to use other criteria to filter out. But I can assure you, even if you have a 2-2, there are scholarships that you can avail of. There are scholarships you look, it's not only the CGPA they look for. They look for skills. Some look for leadership qualities. So what you need to do is to look at yourself, look at what you have. If you have a 2-2, for example, then if you want to augment your 2-2, what you need to do is to go into volunteering, go into activism, go into community services. And once you have all this pulled together in your CV, you will be surprised that you will get a scholarship, and a first-class candidate doesn't get a scholarship. So these are very common. Each and every scholarship has eligibility criteria, but you certainly will find scholarships that you are eligible to apply.
Yes, Dr. Shamsudeen, I have seen another question here. Although this one is not a question, somebody was asking whether if we have any website for mentorship. This one I will like to inform everyone is that we are working tirelessly every day to improve on whatever we are doing at MECAGIN level, but we are constrained with financial difficulties. Having a website at the moment will be a bit tedious because it involves money. When I inquired from website developers, they told us that nothing less than 50 to 100,000 naira are required to develop a website for us. If there are experts on IT here who will assist us in developing the website, please we request them to come on board to help us on that, so that we'll be able to reach out to almost everyone on the planet of Earth. The next question, Dr. Shamsudeen, is that somebody was asking whether if you can comment on issue of bench work. I'm sure this one must be a university lecturer or a tertiary institution lecturer who would like to go out maybe for part of his PhD program.
Yes. So for the benefit of those that don't know what a bench work is some people start their PhD and they need to go elsewhere and complete their research or do a component of their research. For example, it's very, very peculiar in Nigeria because we don't have the requisite infrastructure and facilities to carry out cutting-edge researches, especially in science. So some of us that start their PhDs in Nigeria, they do their proposals, start their work, but then they find out they need to go out of the country to complete their PhDs. There are a lot of opportunities for bench work. Even while I was doing my PhD with the Commonwealth Scholarship gives shared scholarships for PhD candidates to go to the UK to actually do bench work. It's just a 1-year period. Sometimes they can extend it for you if the need arises. So once you start your PhD and you recognize you need to go out of the country to do bench work, you just search the internet, the scholarship websites like Commonwealth. You can go for bench work Commonwealth. I know TWAS, there is a bench work in TWAS, even TED Fund, for those of us that are in the university. TED Fund also pays for PhD candidates to go out of the country and complete their research. So there are a lot of opportunities for bench work, and you only need to find this. The most important thing is to tidy up your research and approach a lab that is doing what you want to undertake. Approach the PI of the lab and say, I've started my PhD in Nigeria and I need to do a certain component which I have seen you do in your lab. Please, can I come to your lab and do this work? It may take you 6 months, 1 year, and that's where you start from. So there are those opportunities to avail of, actually.
Yes, Dr. Shamsudeen, I have a few other questions here. Somebody was saying that he has tried a number of times to apply for several scholarship opportunities, but he was not lucky to get anyone, except that he approached someone at one of the universities in Saudi Arabia. And luckily enough, the guy mentored him and he was selected for the scholarship. But unfortunately, he was asked to produce GRE, and now he's battling with GRE, Graduate Record Examination. I would like to condense the questions so that you can answer them at once, then we have time to go. The other person that asked question, he said, why is it that scholarship opportunities are mainly for science and technology students themselves in the area of education probably are getting less attention from scholarship providers. Then somebody also asked about age barrier. Certainly, age barrier is also a limitation, but I think you can shed more light on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The first person, I congratulate you for getting a scholarship, but this is just what we discussed in the tips of getting a scholarship. So you have to be prepared on time, because we do know that if you are going for a scholarship in the US or any other country that uses the US educational system, you need the GRE. And unfortunately, Saudi Arabia uses the US educational system. So the same way you get admission in the US, that is what you use to get admission in Saudi Arabia. So you need TOEFL, which is an English proficiency, English language proficiency certificate, and you need GRE. They are just indispensable. You can't get a scholarship or even an admission without this. So that is why in my tips, I said you need to start early. And once you start early, you will have your GRE, you will have your TOEFL by your side, you will have all your requirements, and you just wait to apply. And once you apply, nothing will be a limitation. So unfortunately, these are eligibility requirements. And once you don't meet them, then you don't have a scholarship. I wish you all the best, and I hope you get your GRE scores you need and take up the scholarship. And then the second person asked about barrier in scholarships. He said most of the scholarships are science-based. Well, that's not actually true, because I will tell you that the Commonwealth Scholarship is all-encompassing. They are not limited to any discipline. Whether you want to study music, whether you want to study photography, filming. I have seen people on Commonwealth Scholarship that go to study film. So the Commonwealth Scholarship is there, the Fulbright Scholarship is there. Most government scholarships do not restrict themselves to science. I've mentioned of a lot of government scholarships like DAD, Japanese scholarships. So there are a lot of scholarships that give you the opportunity to actually undertake studies in your discipline. You just need to find them. And the way to easily do that is, say for example, you do a PhD in photography. You just simply go to Google and say PhD photography scholarship. And believe me, the output you will see will amaze you. You will have a lot of output on PhD scholarships on photography. So whatever you want to do, there are scholarships for that. And the last person talked about age barrier. Certainly there is age. Age is an eligibility requirement or a criteria most funders unfortunately use to filter out candidates. And the reason for that is, I will tell you that, for example, the Commonwealth Scholarship will say PhD for men, you shouldn't be beyond 40 years of age. And once you are above 40 years of age, there are a lot of things happening in your life. And they think you should give the opportunity to younger ones coming up so that they take the opportunity. And that's why the age barrier comes in. But for women, you'll find out that the age is being stepped up. If the age limit is 40 years for women, for men, then you'll find out that for women is about 45 years of age, because they want to encourage more women to undertake research and go into different fields of studies. So unfortunately, age is a barrier, but that doesn't mean that you won't find a scholarship that you will be eligible for. Some scholarships do not put age as an eligibility requirement. And once you find that, you can apply and get that particular scholarship.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shamsudeen. I think we can call it a day from here. Before then, I would like to inform the participants that all the things that were mentioned by Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare can be found on a particular website called scholarshipposition.com. If you are searching for any scholarship, you can directly go to scholarshipposition.com. Is a website dedicated for all forms of scholarship, any form of scholarship, whether MSc, whether PhD, whether BSc, or anything that you can think of related to scholarship is usually advertised by scholarshipposition.com. And I think very soon, if we are able to develop our website, we'll also be copying those links and publish them on our website of MECAGIN, inshallah, Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria, so that we'll bring the opportunities closer to our people for them to avail of. And with this, I would like to thank Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare for sparing his time to present a wonderful presentation, which we benefited from. I would also like to thank him for agreeing to make his presentation. His presentation is supposed to come up on Thursday, but wrongly we scheduled it for today, and he accepted the challenge. And this is, I think, one of the excellent presentations so far we have had. And luckily enough, he is our own person here in Nigeria. So Dr. Shamsudeen Umar Dandare, on behalf of MECAGIN, I would like to sincerely thank you. And that beside, we also want to appreciate the technical support, just as mentioned by Dr. Shamsudeen. The University, Usman Danfodio University Sokoto, has agreed to support us technically in providing the Zoom, which we are using now as a platform for our lecture. Earlier, we used an open source Zoom, which only lasts for 40 minutes. But now we have a Zoom that is not time bound. So on behalf of MECAGIN, we appreciate the kind technical support from Usman Danfodio University Sokoto through the director MIS, who is presently on hospital bed. We solicit for prayers for you to ask Allah to allow him to recover quickly. And we look forward to meeting you in the next lecture of MECAGIN. Follow us up on my YouTube channel. I have shared the link with you if you want to download or listen or watch the lectures series in the form of video. And follow us up on our Telegram, our WhatsApp groups, so that you get subsequent announcements of the lectures to come. Thank you very much. Dr. Shamsudeen, we are grateful on behalf of MECAGIN, and we're also grateful to the participants. So bye-bye all.